Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you something. When was the last time you woke up excited about your life? I mean, really excited, jumping out of bed, fired up to chase something bigger than yourself? Or are you just waking up, going through the motions, punching the clock, collecting a paycheck, and waiting for the weekend? See, most people ain't living, they just existing. They settle for a life they don't even want, all because they too scared to chase the life they were meant for. But let me tell you something. That dream in your heart, that vision in your mind, it ain't there by accident. It was given to you for a reason. But if you don't chase it, you're going to wake up one day full of regret, looking back on a life you never really lived. Now, I know some of y'all sitting there thinking, but I don't know where to start. What if I fail? What if people laugh at me? Man, forget all that. The real question is, what if you win? What if everything you ever wanted is on the other side of fear and all you had to do was go get it? So today, I'm going to show you how to stop running from your vision and start running toward it. Because the only thing standing between you and the life you deserve is you. Listen, if you're waking up every morning, dragging yourself out of bed, dreading the day ahead, just going through the motions, you ain't living, you're surviving. You were not put on this earth just to pay bills, follow a routine, and let the years slip by. There's something bigger inside you. There's a vision buried deep in your heart, something that excites you, something that scares you, something that you can't stop thinking about. And if you don't chase it, let me tell you what's going to happen. You're going to wake up one day old and full of regret, wishing you had just taken a chance on yourself. See, life ain't about comfort. It ain't about security. It's about purpose. And the truth is, every single person in this room has a purpose. But most people spend their whole lives ignoring it. They settle because chasing a vision requires courage. It requires stepping into the unknown. And you know what? People hate the unknown. They'd rather stay in a life they hate than take a chance on a life they love. That's crazy to me. But I get it. I've been there. I know what it's like to be stuck. I know what it's like to have a dream but feel trapped by life. But let me tell you something. Nobody is coming to save you. Nobody is going to hand you the life you want. If you're waiting for a sign, this is it. You have to get up and make a decision that your dream is worth the fight. You have to wake up and say, I don't care how hard it gets. I don't care what people say. I don't care how long it takes. I'm chasing what's mine. See, that's what separates successful people from everybody else. They ain't special. They ain't got some magic formula. The only difference is they were willing to believe in their vision when nobody else did. They were willing to get uncomfortable, to sacrifice, to take risks, to fail. And when they failed, they got back up. They didn't quit because things got hard. They didn't listen to the people who told them it wasn't possible. They stayed locked in, focused, determined, and eventually they made it. But let me tell you the biggest tragedy in life. It ain't failing. It's never trying. It's waking up every day knowing deep down that you're meant for more, but doing nothing about it. It's settling for a job that drains you, surrounding yourself with people who don't inspire you, and convincing yourself that this is just the way life is. No, that's not the way life has to be. That's the way life will be if you don't take control of it. So I need you to ask yourself right now, are you ready to stop playing small? Are you ready to stop making excuses? Are you ready to chase your vision like your life depends on it? Because let me tell you something, it does. Your happiness depends on it. Your future depends on it. Your legacy depends on it. The choice is yours. Keep surviving or start living. That idea that keeps coming back to you, the one that won't leave your mind no matter how much you try to push it away, that's not random. That's your vision. That's your calling. It was placed inside you for a reason. But here's the problem. Most people ignore it. They talk themselves out of it before they even try. They convince themselves that it's too big, too impossible, or that they're not ready yet. And because of that, they never take the first step. See, the moment you get a vision for your life, fear shows up, doubt shows up. The what ifs start creeping in. What if I fail? What if I'm not good enough? What if people laugh at me? But let me tell you something. Fear is a liar. Fear will keep you stuck in a life you don't even want just because it feels safe. And the truth is, it's not failure that stops most people. It's the fear of failure. It's the fear of stepping outside their comfort zone, of walking into the unknown. But let me ask you this. What if you win? What if this vision inside you is the key to the life you were meant to live? What if everything you ever wanted is waiting for you on the other side of that fear? Most people are out here living their lives based on someone else's opinion. They let other people tell them what's possible. They let their environment, their family, their friends, even strangers, decide what they can and can't do. But here's what I need you to understand. Nobody else can see your vision because it wasn't given to them. It was given to you. That means it's your responsibility to chase it, to protect it, and to make it real. Nobody else is going to do that for you. But here's the part most people don't like to hear. Chasing your vision is not easy. It requires work. It requires discipline. It requires sacrifice. You might have to cut off distractions. You might have to separate yourself from negative people. You might have to wake up earlier, stay up later, and put in the work when nobody's watching. And let me be real with you. It's gonna get tough. There will be moments where you doubt yourself, moments where you feel like giving up. But those moments, that's the test. That's the moment where you decide if you're really serious about your vision or if you're just interested in it. See, a lot of people say they want success. They say they want to live their dream. But the second it gets hard, they quit. They let one failure, one rejection, one obstacle convince them that it's not meant to be. But let me tell you something. If you give up on your vision that easily, you never really wanted it in the first place. Because when you truly want something, nothing can stop you. Not failure, not rejection, not fear. So you have to make a choice. You can either keep doubting yourself, keep waiting for the perfect time, keep letting fear hold you back, or you can step up, take control of your life, and chase your vision like your future depends on it. Because the truth is, it does. Most people never chase their vision because they think they need a perfect plan. They sit around waiting for everything to line up just right. The money, the timing, the connections. They say, I'll start when I have more experience, or I'll go for it when I feel ready. But let me tell you something. If you're waiting for the perfect time, you'll be waiting forever. Because the perfect time doesn't exist. Life ain't gonna give you a green light and say, okay, now it's safe to chase your dream. You gotta move even when you don't have all the answers. See, most people treat life like a GPS. They want to see the whole route before they even start the engine. They want every turn mapped out, every step guaranteed to work before they take the first one. But that's not how success works. You don't get the full plan up front. You don't get to know every detail before you begin. What you get is a vision, an idea, a spark, and the rest you figure it out along the way. Think about this. If you were driving at night with your headlights on, you can only see a few feet ahead of you. But that doesn't stop you from driving. You don't pull over and wait until you can see the entire road before moving forward. No. You trust that as you keep going, more of the road will be revealed. That's how life works. You take one step, then another, and before you know it, you're further than you ever imagined. The truth is, most people use planning as an excuse. They say, I'm still figuring things out, or I'm doing my research, but really they're just scared to start. Because starting means putting yourself out there. It means stepping into the unknown. It means risking failure. But let me tell you something. Failure isn't what stops people. Fear of failure is. And that fear will keep you stuck in a life you don't even want just because it feels safe. Look, when I first started, I didn't have a roadmap. I didn't have all the answers. All I had was a belief that I was meant for more. And that's all you need. You don't need a perfect plan. You just need to start. You need to take that first step, no matter how small it is. Because once you do, momentum kicks in. Doors start opening. People start showing up. Opportunities you never expected start coming your way. But none of that happens until you take action. You want to know the difference between successful people and everybody else? It ain't talent, it ain't luck. It's that successful people start before they're ready. They jump and build their wings on the way down. They take risks, make mistakes, and adjust as they go. Meanwhile, everybody else is still waiting, still planning, still overthinking, watching from the sidelines as life passes them by. So here's the truth. If you've got a vision, you don't need a perfect plan. You don't need permission. You don't need anybody to validate your dream. What you need is to move right now, today, because the longer you wait, the further your dream gets from you. And one day you'll look back and realize you never chased it, not because you couldn't, but because you didn't. So don't let that happen. Start where you are with what you have and watch how everything starts falling into place. Most people want success, but they don't want discomfort. They want the rewards, but they don't want the struggle. They want the dream, but they don't want the process. And that's exactly why so many people stay stuck, because growth does not happen in comfort. Nothing great comes easy. If you're serious about chasing your vision, you have to be willing to get uncomfortable. See, the problem with most people is they settle for what's familiar. Even if they don't like their job, their situation, or their life, they stay in it because it's comfortable, because at least it's predictable, because stepping into something new, something uncertain, is scary. But let me tell you something. The life you want, the dream you have, the success you're chasing is on the other side of discomfort. That means if you want it, you have to be willing to go through some things. You have to be willing to struggle, to feel lost, to make mistakes, to take risks that might not work out, because that's how you grow. Think about it. When you go to the gym, how do you build muscle? You put resistance on it. You push your body past what's comfortable. You lift heavier, you go harder, and in the moment it hurts. Your muscles burn, you feel tired, you want to stop. But if you keep pushing, what happens? You get stronger, you get faster, you get better. The pain you went through creates the progress you wanted. And life is the same way. When you chase your vision, you're going to face resistance. You're going to have days where you question yourself. Days where you feel like nothing is working. Days where you wonder if it's even worth it. And this is the part where most people quit. They hit that first obstacle, that first failure, that first rejection, and they give up. They say, maybe this isn't for me, or maybe I'm just not good enough. But let me tell you something. The struggle isn't there to stop you. It's there to shape you. It's there to prepare you for what you're asking for. See, success isn't about luck. It's not about talent. It's about endurance. It's about who's willing to keep going when things get tough, because things will get tough. That's guaranteed. But what's also guaranteed is that if you keep going, if you refuse to quit, if you embrace the discomfort instead of running from it, you will grow into the person you need to be to achieve your vision. You can't stay the same and expect to have more. You can't hold on to old habits, old fears, and old excuses and expect a new life. Something has to change. And that change is going to be uncomfortable. It's going to stretch you. It's going to challenge you. But that's the price of success. That's the price of living your vision. So here's the real question. Are you willing to be uncomfortable for what you want? Are you willing to sacrifice your comfort zone for your dream? Because if you are, I promise you, one day you'll look back and realize that every struggle, every setback, and every challenge wasn't breaking you, it was building you. And that's when you understand that discomfort wasn't something to fear, it was the key to everything you ever wanted. The moment you decide to chase your vision, the doubters and haters will show up. It's almost like a rule of life. The second you step outside the box, the second you decide you want more, there will be people who try to pull you back. They'll tell you it's impossible. They'll laugh at you. They'll say, who do you think you are? And if you're not careful, you'll start believing them. You'll start questioning yourself. You'll start thinking maybe they're right. But let me tell you something. People who doubt you are not speaking the truth. They're speaking from their own fears. They're speaking from their own limitations. See, most people gave up on their own dreams a long time ago. And when they see you chasing yours, it reminds them of what they didn't do. It makes them uncomfortable. It forces them to look at their own choices. And instead of supporting you, they try to bring you down so they can feel better about staying where they are. And the sad part is sometimes the people who doubt you the most are the ones closest to you. Family, friends, even people you grew up with. They might not believe in you, not because they don't love you, but because they can only see you as who you've always been, not who you're becoming. They don't see the vision inside you. They don't see the work you're putting in behind the scenes. They just see the version of you they've always known, and that's all they think you'll ever be. But here's what you need to understand. You don't need their approval. You don't need their validation. Your vision wasn't given to them, it was given to you. And if they don't believe in it, that's fine. That's not your problem. What is your problem is if you let their doubt stop you. What is your problem is if you let their words shake your confidence. Because the second you start listening to them, you start shrinking. You start holding back. You start making yourself small just to fit in. And let me tell you something. You weren't made to fit in. You were made to stand out. You were made to break barriers, to do something different, to create something new. And that means you can't be worried about what everybody else thinks. You can't be out here living for their approval, because the truth is, no matter what you do, somebody's going to have something to say. If you fail, they'll laugh. If you succeed, they'll hate. So if people are going to talk anyway, you might as well give them something to talk about. The only voice that truly matters is the one inside you. That voice that tells you to keep going, that voice that tells you there's more for you, that voice that tells you you were made for something greater, that's the voice you listen to. Because at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, those doubters, they won't matter. Their opinions won't matter. The only thing that will matter is whether you listen to them or listen to yourself. So don't waste time arguing with people who don't see your vision. Don't waste energy trying to convince people who are committed to misunderstanding you. Just do the work, stay focused, keep building, and one day the same people who doubted you will be the ones asking how you did it. There will never be a right time to chase your vision. If you keep waiting for perfect conditions, you'll be waiting forever. Most people spend their entire lives saying, I'll do it when I have more money. I'll do it when I have more time. I'll do it when I feel ready. But guess what? That moment never comes. Because the truth is, you will never feel 100% ready. There will always be an excuse, a reason to wait, a reason to delay. And if you let those reasons control you, you'll wake up years from now in the exact same place, wondering what could have been. Successful people don't wait for the right time. They start where they are with what they have. They don't have all the answers. They don't have a perfect plan, but they move anyway because they understand that action creates opportunity. The moment you take a step, doors start to open. The right people start to appear. The resources you thought you didn't have start to come into your life. But none of that happens until you take the first step. See, most people think they need confidence to start. They think they need to feel sure of themselves before they move, but that's backwards. Confidence doesn't come before action, it comes because of action. You build confidence by doing, by trying, by failing and learning. You don't wake up one day magically feeling ready. You get ready by getting started. Think about a baby learning to walk. They don't sit around waiting until they're strong enough, balanced enough, or skilled enough. They just start. They fall, they get back up, they stumble, they try again, and eventually they figure it out. But imagine if a baby thought the way some adults do. Imagine if they said, I'm not going to try until I know for sure I won't fall. They'd never walk. And yet, that's exactly what so many people do with their dream. They refuse to take a step until they have a guarantee that they won't fail. But that's not how life works. You have to move first and figure things out along the way. Some of you have been sitting on a dream for years. You've been thinking about it, talking about it, wishing for it, but you haven't taken action. And deep down, you know it. You know you've been making excuses. You know you've been letting fear control you. And if you don't change something now, nothing is going to change. Because time is passing whether you take action or not. The difference is if you start now, a year from today, you'll be further ahead. But if you keep waiting, a year from now, you'll still be exactly where you are. So ask yourself, how much longer are you going to wait? How much longer are you going to let fear stop you? How much longer are you going to put your vision on hold? Because life doesn't wait. Opportunities don't wait. And if you're not willing to take action, someone else will. Someone else with less talent, less resources, but more courage will step up and do what you keep hesitating on. And one day, you'll look back and realize that the only thing that ever stood between you and the life you wanted was you. So stop waiting, stop overthinking, stop making excuses. The best time to start was yesterday. The second best time, right now.